Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to share a story that's deeply personal. A story about a journey that didn't just cross miles, but also bridged worlds. It's a true story from Africa, one that reshaped my understanding of community, resilience, and the real meaning of wealth. It all started a few years ago. I had this idea, maybe a bit naive, that I wanted to do more than just see the world. I wanted to connect with it. So I signed up for a volunteer project in a small, rural village in Western Kenya, not far from the shores of Lake Victoria. My mission, on paper, was to help teach English at the local primary school. But as I soon found out, I was the one who was about to get a real education. Landing in Nairobi was a sensory explosion. The energy, the sounds, the smells, it was vibrant and overwhelming. After a long, bumpy bus ride that rattled my bones but filled my eyes with breathtaking landscapes of the Great Rift Valley, I finally arrived in the village. It was nothing like the pictures. The red earth roads, the acacia trees dotting the horizon, and the simple mud-walled homes with tin roofs felt like a world away from everything I knew. My host family greeted me with smiles so wide and warm they instantly melted away my travel fatigue. There was Mama Sarah, the matriarch, whose laughter was infectious. Her husband, Joseph, a man of few words but profound wisdom in his eyes. And their children, who looked at me with a mixture of curiosity and shyness. My home for the next few months was a small room attached to their main house. It was simpler bed, a small table, and a window that looked out onto a field of maize. The first few weeks were a challenge. The language barrier was real. I knew a few words of Swahili, but the local dialect Luo was a complete mystery. I struggled with the food, the customs, and the constant feeling of being an outsider. At the school, the kids were eager to learn, but resources were incredibly scarce. We had one worn-out textbook for a class of 50. Blackboards were cracked, and chalk was a precious commodity. It was easy to see what they lacked. But then, slowly, my perspective started to shift. I saw how neighbors would share their harvest without a second thought if a family was struggling. If someone's roof was leaking, the whole community would show up the next day with tools and materials to fix it. No one had asked them to eat. They just saw a need and they acted together. This spirit of collective responsibility, which they called Harambee, was woven into the fabric of their daily lives. I started spending my evenings sitting with Joseph on the porch. watching the sunset paint the sky in fiery oranges and purples. In our broken mix of English and Swahili, he would tell me stories of his ancestors, of the land, and of the community. He never spoke of poverty or hardship. Instead, he spoke of blessings. He would point to his healthy children, the maize growing in the field, the rain that nourished the crops. "We have enough," he'd say with a peaceful smile. "We have each other." His words struck me deeply. In my world, we were so focused on accumulating more, a bigger house, a faster car, the latest phone. We measured wealth in dollars and possessions. Here, wealth was measured in relationships, in community, in the strength of your bonds with the people around you. They had a social richness that I had never experienced before, a safety net woven from human connection, not financial assets. One of the most memorable days was the school's annual sports day. There were no fancy medals or trophies. The prizes were things like a new notebook, a pen, or a loaf of bread. But the competition was fierce and joyful. Kids ran barefoot in the sack race, their faces beaming with pure, unadulterated happiness. Parents and villagers cheered from the sidelines, their voices rising in a single, unified roar of encouragement. In that moment, I wasn't an outsider anymore. I was just one of them, cheering until my voice was hoarse, caught up in the infectious joy of the community. My time in Kenya came to an end all too quickly. Leaving was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. There were tears, long hugs, and promises to return. Mama Sarah packed me a small bag of roasted peanuts for the journey, and Joseph gave me a small, hand-carved wooden elephant. "So you don't forget your family in Africa," he said. I went there thinking I would be teaching, but I was the one who learned the most profound lessons. I learned that resilience isn't just about bouncing back from hardship. It's about facing it together. It's a reminder that sometimes, to find what's truly important in life, you have to travel far from home, only to discover that home isn't a place, but a feeling of belonging. If it resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever had a travel experience that changed your perspective? Share it with us. Until next time, take care.